I'm Kimberly Davis. For a full week on KHOU 11 Morning News, we took a deeper look at sleep, focusing on things that really impact you like work and family, along with some habits like late night phone scrolling and health, such as sleep disorders. Ultimately, we wanted to make sure to bring you some solutions to help you catch some Z's.
We are talking about that very thing, sleep. Doesn't it sound nice? Getting the sleep you need can always be a challenge, but it's especially difficult for people who work the night shift or even an overnight shift.
Yeah, that's for sure. Our Victor Jacobo kicks off our Sleep Week coverage with the impact of shift work and what you can do to make that a little easier.
While the sun sets and night falls in Houston and across Texas, many people are ending their day, but others, like warehouse workers, medical staff, first responders, and more, are just getting started. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says there's about 16.5% of workers who work evenings, nights, rotating, irregular, or split shifts. These shifts tend to push against humans' natural circadian rhythm.
The human body, in every perspective, whether it's from the brain itself, from the eyes, from every other organ, the heart, the kidneys, all these organs are made to function around that rhythm, mainly to coordinate with sunlight.
Doctors say some people are better suited for night work than others, but the challenges of night work, from getting enough sleep, keeping a healthy diet, and fighting the natural rhythm of the body, can take a toll on anyone.
Over the long period, there are studies that have shown that there is a very high risk of cardiovascular events like heart attacks and strokes. There is a higher risk of certain cancers, actually.
So if you have to work at night, doctors recommend some tips. Be consistent with your schedule. Make adjustments to your routine ahead of schedule changes so it's not such a shock to your body. Use blackout shades, sleep masks, and sunglasses as tools to fight the effects of sunlight. Eat larger meals at the start of your day and lighter towards the end. And get 6 to 8 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period, even if it means splitting hours up. Doctors say what impacts night workers, though not always visible, has an impact on all of us.
I think we have to recognize that shift workers are some of the most important workers to the labor force, where if you didn't take care, they would have catastrophic consequences, not just to themselves, but to the entire community.
In Houston, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.
Oh, we have all the tricks. You know, we have the blackout curtains. I just recently got the mask. And also, if you have the coins for it, they say if you lower your thermostat in your home and make it colder, it helps you go to sleep faster as well.
Yes, the sleep specialist I spoke with, which my story will air later in the week, she said heat is the death of good sleep. So that one is especially important.
Yeah. Part of our Sleep Week coverage, we are taking a look at sleep deprivation in parents. Our Ugochi Loka explains the help available right here in Houston.
We're supposed to get, a woman is supposed to get between 8 and 12 hours. That is not feasible, especially for a mother who is single and with a full and busy schedule like I had with both of my daughters.
Tanea Mitchell was just one of many parents who suffered from sleep deprivation.
So there's a lot of health consequences, and even in the acute phase, 1 or 2 nights of sleep deprivation can affect you.
Dr. Puneet Patni says that includes increased risks of diabetes, viral infections, cholesterol issues, and cardiovascular troubles. In mom of 2, Tanea's case, lack of sleep led to the discovery of an epilepsy diagnosis.
I was talking to my girls and I came out of the bathroom and I was communicating with them and my eyes rolled in the back of my head and I fainted in front of them.
Too little sleep helped triggered her condition. We visited the Kelsey-Seybold Sleep Center in Houston to see how sleep is studied in a hotel-style room like this.
This is a bed where patients lay down overnight while their sleep study is being conducted.
The typical routine is that the patient comes in the evening and they'll get some monitors put on them.
Okay, you can relax.
That record airflow, oxygen saturation, body movements in position, EEG data.
Then, in this control room, medical tech staff look for problems with airflow, respiration, excessive movements, or brainwave patterns. As a parent, if your sleep patterns check out fine, then the problem probably is lack of a set of daily routines for your kids, which might be keeping you from sleeping well.
It's a matter of just juggling the competing demands that everybody has with work and being a parent. So trying to maintain steady bedtimes and wake up times is important.
I had to manage my sleep better. I noticed that when I'm really tired or if I'm not getting adequate sleep, I can feel the change like in my head.
Dr. Potney says a lot of parents think they can just catch up on sleep on weekends.
If you cut off just 1 or 2 hours of sleep every night, in studies what you see is that every day there's a degradation in your performance.
Overall, in order to get better sleep as a parent, you have to cut down on the distractions, which Tanea tells me improved her quality of life drastically.
I just manage my sleep better. That means I have to say no to some things, some events, some, hanging out, girls' night with my daughters.
Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
So important, and you
It really
can't
is.
take a day off of parenting, so you really have to take that sleep schedule seriously.
And even when you don't have children, you realize how much harder it is to go to sleep at a decent hour and get all the hours you need. The older you get, because you get more busy, and it's like, okay, I have this to do, that to do. So when the doctor was talking about busy schedules, I totally get it.
Yeah, shut the electronics off and right there on the dot, whatever time you go to bed.
Nothing better than waking up refreshed from a good night's sleep. But as you get older, sometimes those sweet dreams can start looking more like nightmares.
As part of our sleep week, Stephanie Whitfield spoke with an expert about how sleep changes when people hit middle age.
Aura and John Hines sleep well now, but that wasn't the case for many years.
But I would doze off after sleeping 6 or 7 hours, and I just figured the type of work I did was just stressful.
Aura's insomnia was so bad, doctors say it triggered a stroke when she was 43 years old.
So then they started trying to find out what was causing a stroke. It was the migraines, and then the migraines was coming because I wasn't sleeping.
Her sleep neurologist with UT Health Houston and Tier Memorial Hermann says for many people, insomnia peaks midlife.
Mainly because of work-related stresses, family-related stresses. You're starting to take care of multiple generations, maybe not just one.
Hormonal and physical changes during that stage of life make it harder to sleep too.
In many cases, there's weight gain, and that itself leads to obstructive sleep apnea, which can lead to frequently interrupted sleep. And that means you wake up tired, which means you don't function as well during the daytime.
She says there are changes you can make to get some shut-eye, like reducing screen time or taking over-the-counter sleep aids. John and Aura use CPAP machines now. It makes bedtime sound like
Darth Vader.
A sleep study revealed both had common midlife sleep issues. Now,
We actually go to bed and we actually get up early. So we sleep.
they're grateful to have the energy to keep up with their grandkids and great-grandkids. Stephanie Whitfield, KHOU 11 News.
That is a terrifying story, but I'm glad they both reached out to get the help that they needed, and they're sleeping well now.
And sharing their story, it's so important to get the sleep you need.
Didn't realize that migraines could trigger strokes.
Yeah.
Very informative. All right.
Well, in a world where technology really is everywhere, it can be difficult to put your phone down even right before bed.
Tell me about it. Hey, if you're a nighttime scroller, it could cause some big problems with your sleep. Stephanie Simmons spoke with a local expert about why it's so bad for us and how to break the habit.
Screen time right before bedtime. We've all done it, or still do it. But that habit could be killing your chance at a perfect night's sleep for two big reasons.
One being the light that you get, the blue light that's emitted from our phone or electronics and tablets. And the second piece, just the stimulation of it. And we're really trying to unwind and relax before bed.
Sleep psychologist Dr. Sarah Nowakowski explains exactly why that blue light is so bad.
That light goes right to that area of the brain, and that's our sensor for our master clock, for our circadian rhythm, our body's internal clock.
There are ways to adjust the light on your phone on both an Apple or an Android. Just go to settings and look for the night shift or night light option. You can also schedule your phone to switch from blue to orange light and adjust the color temperature to your liking. If you can manage to put your phone down, don't think watching TV before bed is a better option.
If we are following hardcore sleep health, we would say, not watching the TV in bed. So if you find yourself that it's really too stimulating for your brain and it's kind of working you up, it might be a bit much for you.
So how can you break the habit?
Maybe setting a timer for yourself or being very mindful of the time.
Dr. Nowakowski says you can also try switching your entertainment to something more calming.
I do tell people with insomnia, maybe think about like audiobooks or podcast things that are relaxing kind of things, audio, so it's less light.
The doctor says 60 minutes before bed is the key for most people to put the technology down, turn the TV off, and start the process of calming your body down. Eliminating that blue light is one major step towards a healthier and a deeper night's sleep.
This morning, we wrap up your sleep week. Today, we're talking about narcolepsy.
Yeah, it's a relatively rare sleeping disorder, but those who have it know how much it can affect everyday life. I spoke with a neurologist who explains why it's very important to make sure this autoimmune disorder is treated. Heavy are the eyes of those living with untreated narcolepsy. Narcolepsy is a chronic neurological disorder that affects the brain's ability to control sleep-wake cycles, and they experience obsessive daytime sleepiness or uncontrollable sleep attacks daily.
The exact cause of narcolepsy is unclear, but it is most likely secondary to an immune attack where person's own immune system is attacking certain neurons in the brain.
Dr. Archita Verma, a neurologist with UT Health Houston, says narcolepsy is not curable, but the symptoms can be managed by treatment. Medical treatment varies depending on patient symptoms. In addition to the classic symptoms, a person living with narcolepsy may also have hallucinations while falling asleep.
Patients usually describe saying that, I see spiders on the wall. I quickly, woke up and I knew that, that was not true. I heard a loud noise in my bathroom or in my living room.
Narcolepsy is most diagnosed between 10 to 30 years old. Dr. Verma says narcolepsy is typically triggered after an infection or vaccination.
It is very important to treat because narcolepsy comes with a significant burden of patients not being able to perform their activities of daily living, do well in school, in college. That's the time when the symptoms are being manifested.
Even driving a car can be dicey. That's why doctors are urging you not to struggle in silence.
You're still experiencing symptoms of non-refreshing sleep, excessive daytime fatigue, unable to perform the activities of daily living, then you need to seek medical attention. That is not normal.
So the doctor went on to tell me that these people are getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep daily. So that's enough sleep for you to not be sleepy. And if this consists for more than 3 months, then you can be diagnosed with narcolepsy. But can you imagine driving and falling asleep behind the wheel?
No, absolutely. And it's dangerous for yourself and others out there. I'm glad to hear there's treatment options, though.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Kim.